Hello, this is Tori with LANDiO. We have a new 320-acre parcel in Utah. This property borders BLM Land. It's near the Bonneville Salt Flats, just west of Salt Lake City in the Great Salt Lake. And what's really great about this property is not only do you have the 320 deeded acres, which is half of a square mile, but you have 100% of all the mineral and water rights. That's correct, 100% of the mineral and water rights. And water rights and mineral rights are becoming harder and harder to find, and the fact that this property still has 100% of the mineral and water rights intact is an amazing attribute. This is the interactive map, and the parcel is right here in green. So it is 320 acres, which is 1 mile. This whole side is 1 mile long by a half a mile wide. So this is half of a square mile. A common parcel size is 40 acres that you'll see often. So this would be 8 40-acre parcels combined to create this 320 acres. If we zoom out here, you can see that all this yellow shaded area? This is all BLM land. All this yellow is BLM land. The blue is state land, and then the orangish reddish area is Department of Defense. And you've got the Interstate 80 just up here to the north. And if we turn off these public land layers and look at this, see all this whitish area right here? This is what was the Bonneville Lake. Now, this is a prehistoric lake that at one point in time was over 22,000 square miles. Now this is the Great Salt Lake, and Salt Lake City is right here. The Great Salt Lake is typically around 1,700 square miles. It did reach up to about 3,300 square miles, and its low point has been, low size is down to about a little over 900 square miles. So this lake, the size fluctuates, but all of this area here was once under this, was the floor, the bed of this giant salt lake, which was known as the Bonneville Lake, which is why then this area is named the Bonneville Salt Flats. And over here, you have a really popular area where it's the Bonneville Salt Flats International Speedway. And this is said to be the fastest place on earth. Here's a photo of the sign for the Bonneville Salt Flats International Speedway, and they have a website where you can view some of the information in more detail. This is where they'll have those speed trials where they'll clock the fastest ever land speed, things of that nature. Many people will describe it as otherworldly, almost like being on the moon. And where most of this is just flat salt with no trace of life whatsoever, what's unique about our property is that it does have vegetation. In the areas where there is vegetation is a representation that it does retain some moisture still in these areas. So you can see here's more of the native vegetation on the property. Here are some more photos of the vegetation, and you'll see that it almost looks in a way like seaweed, which is probably akin to it being at the bottom of this salt lake at one point. And then you also have mountain views from the property. These are Google Earth terrain views. So here we are south of the property looking north. This is Interstate 80. You have these mountains over here to the north. And now we're southeast looking northwest, more mountain range. This is called Pilot Peak. And now we're east of the property looking west. This is over at the Nevada border. Just to the west here is Wendover and West Wendover. The collective population is around 6,000, and it's a area where there's casinos. There's also grocery supplies and other types of recreational activities. Now we're northeast looking southwest. Here we can start to see Red Mountain. And now we're north of the property looking south. Now we're northwest looking southeast. Here's some more mountains over here. This would be to the east, southeast of the property. And now we're west of the property looking east. So going to the east then over here is going to be the Great Salt Lake and Salt Lake City. This is what is called the Tree of Utah. Some people also call it the Metaphor. And this is just north of Interstate 80, so you can actually see this from the property. So from the property, just about an hour to the Bonneville Flats International Speedway, where you'll also find Wendover, Utah, and West Wendover, Nevada, where you'll find restaurants, lodging, there's casinos, groceries, supplies, pretty much anything you need you can find there. And you're about 2 hours from Tooele, Utah. Tooele has a population of around 34,000, so pretty much anything you need you can find there in Tooele. About an hour and 36 minutes to Grantsville, Utah. Grantsville has a population around 10,000. And then you're just about 2 hours to Salt Lake City, Utah. The Salt Lake City metropolitan area has a population about 1.15 million. So anything you need, you can find there in Salt Lake City. There's also an international airport in Salt Lake City. You'll also find the Great Salt Lake State Park, the Antelope Island State Park, and the Utah Lake State Park. So there's lots of diverse nature and outdoor recreational activities all within this area. We have this 320 acres that includes 100% of all of the mineral and water rights, priced at just $64,000. That breaks down to only $200 an acre. If you were to break that down even further into a cost per square foot, that would be 0.004 cents per square foot. Less than half a penny per square foot for this property. There's a saying that goes, buy land, they're not making any more of it. Over time, land has always been a store of wealth, store of value, and is becoming harder and harder to find property that has all of the mineral and water rights still intact. If this property fits what you're looking for, please go to our website and click on this Buy Now button. What that'll do is add a deposit of $499 to your cart. Then click Checkout. Once you click checkout, this window will appear where you can enter in all your information, then continue through the checkout process. Once the checkout process has been completed, we'll receive an instant notification that your $499 deposit has been made. We'll then take the property off the market, send you over a simple one-page purchase agreement, and arrange for the balance of payment. The remaining balance may be paid by wire transfer, cashier's check, ACH bank draft, credit card, debit card, or any combination of these methods. We make the whole process super simple, and it can be completed in as little as a day. There are no other costs or fees associated with the transaction. The $64,000 is the total purchase price. There's no other commissions or fees or anything else. All the property details are listed here on our website. There are no covenants or restrictions. There's no HOA. There's no HOA fees. The property taxes are only $65.85 a year for the entire 320 acres. We have more information on the distances to nearby locations, where you'll find links with more information about those locations. We have the GPS coordinates, links to open up those GPS coordinates in a Google map. We have recent photos of the property and the surrounding area in this interactive map. If you have any questions, our phone number is on the top of every page of our website. That number is 713-597-7670. That number also receives text messages. We also have this live chat feature here on our website where you can communicate with us in real time. If we're not available, please send us a message. We'll respond to you at our next availability. We also have this contact form here on our website that you can fill out, or you can send us an email directly. Our email address is hello@landio.com. It's important for us to let you know that we really appreciate you taking the time to watch our videos and share our properties and our website with all your family, friends, and colleagues. May God continue to bless you and your family.